Good morning. Welcome to our series, Fine Poetry, Poems that Touch Deeper Chords. Today, we look at the poetry of Edna St. Vincent Millay, 1892 to 1950. I have chosen those poems that are perhaps not so familiar as her well-known love poems and her many excellent sonnets on love. In this way, I hope to bring to light other aspects of her poetry. Her most famous poem, Renaissance, was read by Aniruddha Sarkar, the ashram poetry teacher, in one of the numerous interviews I had with him. A few biographical notes from Wikipedia. Edna St. Vincent Millay was an American poet and playwright. She received the Pulitzer Prize for Poetry in 1923, the third woman to win the award for poetry, and was also known for her feminist activism. She used the pseudonym Nancy Boyd for her prose work. The poet Richard Wilbur asserted, "She wrote some of the best sonnets of the century." Millay's fame began in 1912 when she entered her poem Renaissance in a poetry contest in the Lyric Year. The poem was widely considered the best submission, and when it was ultimately awarded fourth place, it created a scandal which brought Millay publicity. The first place winner, Oric Johns, was among those who felt that Renaissance was the best poem and stated that the award was as much an embarrassment to me as a triumph. So here is her first sonnet, Love is Not All, Sonnet 30. Love is not all. It is not meat, nor drink, nor slumber, nor a roof against the rain, nor yet a floating spar to men that sink, and rise and sink, and rise and sink again. Love cannot fill the thickened lung with breath, nor clean the blood, nor set the fractured bone. Yet many a man is making friends with death, even as I speak, for lack of love alone. It well may be that in a difficult hour, pinned down by pain and moaning for release, or nagged by want past resolution's power, I might be driven to sell your love for peace, or trade the memory of this night for food. It may well be. I do not think I would. Inert perfection. Inert perfection, let me chip your shell. You cannot break it through with that soft beak. What if you broke it never, and it befell you should not issue thence, should never speak? Perfection in the egg, a fluid thing, grows solid in due course, and there exists, knowing no urge to struggle forth and sing, complete though shell-bound, but the mind insists it shall be hatched to this ulterior end. that it be bound by function, that it be less than perfection, having to expend some force on a nostalgia to be free. Afternoon on a hill. I will be the gladdest thing under the sun. I will touch 100 flowers and not pick one. I will look at cliffs and clouds with quiet eyes. Watch the wind bow down the grass and the grass rise. And when the lights begin to show up from the town, I will mark which must be mine and then start down. The wood road. If I were to walk this way, hand in hand with grief, I should mark that maple spray coming into leaf. I should note how the old burrs rot upon the ground. Yes, though grief should know me hers, while the world goes round, it could not, if truth be said, this was lost on me. A rock maple showing red, burrs beneath a tree. To Kathleen. Still must the poet, as of old, in barren attic, bleak and cold, starve, freeze, and fashion verses to such things as flowers and song and you. Still, as of old, his being give in beauty's name, while she may live, beauty that may not die as long as there are flowers and you and song. Song of a 2nd April. April this year, not otherwise than April of a year ago, is full of whispers, full of sighs, of dazzling mud and dingy snow, hepaticas that pleased you so, and here again the butterflies. Their rings a hammering all day, and shingles lie about the doors. In orchards, near and far away, the gray woodpecker taps and bores. The men are merry at their chores, and children earnest at their play. The larger streams run still and deep. Noisy and swift the small brooks run. Among the mullein stalks the sheep go up the hillside in the sun. Pensively, only you are gone. You that alone I cared to keep. Journey. Ah, could I lay me down in this long grass and close my eyes and let the quiet wind blow over me. I am so tired of passing pleasant places. All my life, following care along the dusty road, have I looked back at loveliness and sighed. Yet, at my hand, an unrelenting hand tugged ever, and I passed. All my life long, over my shoulder, have I looked at peace. And now I fain would lie in this long grass and close my eyes. Yet onward! Catbirds call, through the long afternoon, and creeks at dusk are guttural. Whippoorwills wake and cry, drawing the twilight close about their throats. Only my heart makes answer. Eager vines go up the rocks and wait. Flushed apple trees pause in their dance and break the ring for me. And bayberry, that through sweet bevies thread of round-faced roses, pink and petulant, look back and beckon ere they disappear. Only my heart responds, yet, my path is sweet on either side, all through the dragging day, sharp underfoot and hot, and like dead mist the dry dust hangs. But far, oh, far as passionate eye can reach, and long as rapturous eye can cling, the world is mine. Blue hill, still silver lake, broad field, bright flower, and the long white road, a gateless garden, and an open path, my feet to follow, and my heart to hold. The fawn. There it was. I saw what I shall never forget and never retrieve. Monstrous and beautiful to human eyes, hard to believe. He lay, yet there he lay, asleep on the moss, his head on his polished cleft, small ebony hooves. The child of the doe, the dappled child of the deer. Surely his mother had never said, "Lie here till I return," so spotty and plain to see. On the green moss lay he. His eyes had opened. He considered me. I would have given more than I care to say to thrifty ears. Might I have had him for my friend, one moment only of that forest day. Might I have had the acceptance, not the love, of those clear eyes. Might I have been for him in the bough above, or the root beneath his forest bed, a part of the forest, seen without surprise. Was it alarm, or was it the wind of my fear, lest he depart, that jerked him to his jointy knees and sent him crashing off, leaping and stumbling on his new legs between the stems of the white trees? This is a very similar experience to one I had, and we will include the photo I took of the little fawn in Mother's garden in our future video. For the last poem today, it is God's World, one of her greatest. O world, I cannot hold thee close enough. Thy winds, thy wide gray skies, thy mists that roll and rise, thy woods this autumn day that ache and sag and all but cry with color, that gaunt crag to crush, to lift the lean of that black bluff. World, world, I cannot get thee close enough. Long have I known a glory in it all, but never knew I this. Here such a passion is as stretcheth me apart. Lord, I do fear Thou hast made the world too beautiful this year. My soul is all but out of me. Let fall no burning leaf. Prithee, let no bird call.